Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forbidden Door Preview. What's your excitement level for this pay-per-view this weekend? Are you even going to buy it? I'm not. I have been buying most of the AEW pay-per-views. I think I bought like the last 4 or 5 in a row. This is my least favorite event of the year, so I understand if you're like, oh, well, cool. Why are you even on here giving a preview of it? Well, that's what I do. That's what I do. I love professional wrestling, even though I'm not all that excited about it. You can bet your sweet behind that I'm going to see who wins every match. I'm going to find highlights of the 3 matches that I am interested in. The rest, I could just not. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me that I'm not going to watch them. Yeah, like I said, will I check out who wins them? Absolutely. Absolutely going to still follow along. And it's nothing against AEW. It's nothing against New Japan Wrestling. It's because of storylines. Not because they're doing a bad job, even though some of it is pretty bad. Some of it's okay. Some of it's good. It's storyline wise, meaning I can't get invested in the New Japan guys. What's pro wrestling? Promos, in-ring ability, storylines. I don't watch Japanese television because I can't understand them. And I'm sorry, subtitles just, if I'm going to read, I'm going to read a book. So subtitles just don't do a whole lot for me. They can work here or there, but if you're creating a whole pay-per-view around a bunch of guys that don't speak English or do just a little tiny bit, I can't buy into that. I can't buy into that. There's nothing against any of them, but I'm just, I'm not interested in it. If they can't speak, and promos is a huge part of wrestling, then I'm out. I'm out on being that interested in it. I am, however, interested in Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. And that's honestly, that's what really pushed me over to say, okay, yep, I'm going to get on here. I'm definitely going to do this for sure because I'm very interested in this matchup. Even though I do feel like it's a little soon for these two guys to be getting together. And they're both faces. And AEW kind of throws face and heel out the window. I talked about that on a previous AEW Late Night Dynamite episode of the Top Rope Podcast. You can check that out on Spotify. I've talked about that. It's good, bad. It's just, it is what it is. But this match is very intriguing, and as far as my excitement level for it, I'm going to say it's about at a 9. It was about 7.5, 8, but after that tag team match, everything happened then on Dynamite. One of the few lone bright spots on Dynamite the other night. It got me pretty pumped up for this matchup. I think it's too soon for Will Ospreay to win the title, but then again, we're headed towards All In. I don't know. I think he would need to win the title at All In, have a huge moment in his home country, right? He's from over there. That would be gigantic. But maybe he goes in as the champion to that show. As good as Swerve's been, and he's in my top 10, you can check out my full rankings at thetopropepodcast.com. That's thetopropepodcast.com. I love him. I love Swerve Strickland. I love Will Ospreay. They're both in my top 10. But I don't know, man. Swerve headlining and All In. I would say your headline match probably Will Ospreay and MJF, but boy, oh boy, with the way MJF's been booked so far since he's come back to AEW, MJF is mid right now, guys. MJF is mid. I hate to say that, and he does go back to the face and heel thing, but he's a baby face. First night comes in after he shows back up at the pay-per-view. He's calling out other baby faces and getting hardly no reactions because they don't want to boo the baby faces, but they do want to cheer MJF. And you kick Adam Cole in the nuts and they have not done a single thing with that since. I thought that would be the storyline. Like, oh, cool, maybe Adam Cole's cleared. And then we get the awful opening segment with the circle jerk the other night with MJF and Daniel Garcia, and then Will Ospreay sadly did join in on that, and it was just not very good. And I don't like his attire since he's coming back. I miss the scarf. MJF is mid right now. Honestly, I wish he would have signed with WWE so far, as from what I've seen in this run. It's just, it's not been great. Not excited at his match at all. But let's get back to Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. And I do think MJF, maybe that segment the other night on Dynamite possibly set up what could happen in this segment. MJF seemed to be a little bit resentful that Will Ospreay's out there offering Daniel Garcia matches after he offered him matches. And then Daniel Garcia, accepting Will Ospreay and what he said. So MJF got a little bit upset by that. So does MJF. I think MJF screws Will Ospreay out of the title here. And what that does for cheering and booing, I have no idea. I don't know if AEW cares or if they're just not smart enough to realize that old school face versus heel is usually the best way to go. I don't know. I'm still trying to very much love AEW, but it's hard. It's hard at times. With as good as WWE is right now, AEW is not very good. Not very good at all. You're seeing it in the numbers, guys. The numbers don't lie. I think, 500,000 viewers the other night in Dynamite. Awful. Awful. Just in that crowd reacted to that opening segment. Not too great. But, like I said, I am excited about this match. I think that's how it'll be booked. I think Swerve Strickland does remain your champion. What that does for All In, we shall see. I definitely don't think we're going to see MJF and Daniel Garcia at All In. No thanks. No thank you. If they would have pulled the trigger on that storyline with Daniel Garcia and him actually saying that he was a wrestler, but they screwed that whole thing up. They had a chance to put him over as a wrestler. He would have been red hot. I mean, I guess a lot of people still like him, but to me, he's not that great. He's not that great. He's not over. He's not over in my book. Let's move on. That is definitely my prediction for match of the night. Absolutely, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. We got Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. She's from CMLL, I believe. Yeah. Or no, that's the other girl that Mercedes Moné is fighting. Is she from New Japan? I think she might be. Yeah. Or Stardom. She was from Stardom. Maybe she was in New Japan. Like I said, I'm not that into all that. I try to keep at least be somewhat knowledgeable about it, but it's tough when you're not that interested in it. But I am interested in this matchup. I think they've done a great job putting Mariah May right in the middle of this thing. Everything happened with the bottle of champagne, I believe it was, the other night. Even though the champagne bottle, breaking it wasn't all that executed very well, decently, but not great. I love the storyline they got going on here. This is one of the few matchups I'm interested in that involves an AEW versus somebody that's come through the quote-unquote forbidden door. But like I said before, I'm more excited about WWE, TNA, NXT, and TNA, them crossing over that forbidden door than I am AEW and New Japan. It's just, we've been there, we've done that, we've done it a few years. Now, I get it if you're into it. I'm not. I get it. There's dream matchups to be had here. We've seen some of them. A lot of them have been fantastic. It's not my cup of tea. Doesn't get my rocks off. It does not. Promos, huge. Like I said, you can't speak English. That's a major drawback for me. But I am interested in that. Just this one here, just because I think it's been a great storyline. New Japan did throw. Now I'm going to save that. I think I was in the. I think maybe it happens in the Mercedes Moné match. That Vakor maybe has a chance just because they threw New Japan through AEW a bone with having Mox be the champ. Maybe that was just because Mox had done such great work. Maybe it doesn't even have that much to do with AEW. And AEW's been, New Japan has more to benefit from the relationship with AEW, I think, than AEW has to benefit with New Japan. Agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments. But I think Toni Storm retains here. I do think that unless Mariah May sides with Mina, cost her the belt, but maybe I just don't see that happen. I don't know. I think it's not stale yet. I think it's still very much over. Even though it seems like this might be the right time for Mariah May to turn on Toni Storm. Man, that's a tough call. I think we could build a Toni Storm Mariah May match for All In. Possibly, but would that need the title? I don't know how you would book this thing to where, I think Toni Storm retains regardless of what happens. Somehow I think we do definitely get to a Mariah May and Toni Storm possibly at All In at Wembley, but I don't know. This is one of those ones where I don't know. I don't know how I'd book this one. Eventually I would lead to them breaking up. Maybe it's here, but I just don't think they want to take the belt off Toni Storm, so I think she retains, and eventually we later get to Mariah May and Toni Storm some other way. Excitement level, about a 7.5. Maybe an 8. I really like Toni Storm, really like Mariah May, and Mina Shirakawa's won me over. She can speak enough English. She's won me over. She looks good. I'm into that one. Jon Moxley and I don't even know how to say his first name, Naito, for the IWGP Championship. Jon Moxley's done absolutely nothing since he's become champion. I'm not a huge Jon Moxley fan. When he first came back as that champion, I was a little bit excited about it, and then I quickly was like, nope, this is not good. Not interested in it. Give the belt back to Naito. Get it back over to New Japan. Mercedes Moné, Stephanie Vacour. This could be where it's like, okay, well, we let Jon Moxley. I don't know how these things work. Scratch my back, scratch your back. I don't know. But with them letting Moxley be the champion, could this be where could Vacour win both that belts? Maybe, but probably not. My interest level for Moxley and Naito, by the way, is about a 2, I'll say a 3. Moné and Vacour, my excitement level for that one's at about a 5.5, 6. Vacour, another one of them that's done a very good job of actually getting me interested. Some great packages on her, having Moné go down to CMLL. That was smart. I don't think Mercedes Moné has been fantastic since she's been in AEW, but she's been good, and Vacour's a decent little storyline they got going on here. Not bad. I don't think they're going to give it to Vacour just because if it was some other belt than the TBS belt and you want them to wrestle, like you wanted that belt to be on TBS, obviously. If this was called something else, maybe they give it to Vacour, but Moné, getting back her belt, right? Vacour's from CMLL, or they're fighting for, what are they fighting for? The strong belt, whatever. I think that might be a New Japan belt. I don't know. I think so. But Vacour's in CMLL. I don't know. I could be screwing that all up, but it's whatever. I think Moné retains. Moné retains. Excitement level's at about a 5. As far as how they book it, I don't know. Moving on. Takeshita. I don't even know. What's that? That's like a 4-man match, I think. Yeah, I love Takeshita, Briscoe. Oh, that's for the ladder match. That's right. That's for the ladder match for the TNT Championship. Yeah, so I guess I'm interested in about 3 or 4 matches on this card. Oh, who wins that thing? I'm going to say Takeshita or Jack Perry. Like, I really like the ideal of how the Elite was going to just give it to Jack Perry. I know it might have been like a finger poke of doom type moment, but I don't know. It would have put a lot of heat on the Elite if they would have just gave it to him, or just had him like, oh, all right, cool. Maybe we'll do a tournament for this belt or whatever, and then Jack Perry's just automatically in the finals. That's probably how I would have booked it, and then had Jack Perry win and get the heat. Get the heat. They kind of doing that here, inserting him into this ladder match, I do believe. I can't remember everybody in there. It's Takeshita, Briscoe, Dante Martin, Phantasmo or somebody, Leo Rush. You're right, Jack Perry. I believe he's in there. I think he'll win it. I think he'll win that. Get some heat on the Elite. They, everything they did with Tony Khan, and then they were kind of running the show. And then you see Christopher Daniels kind of side back with AEW. I think that was a kind of a mistake. I mean, I understand you can't let the Elite just run total roughshod over everything, but it just seems like they kind of fell by the wayside and they don't have nearly as much power as they should this early on in, a month or so into this storyline. So I think they need some heat back on them. So I'm giving that to Jack Perry. My excitement level for that is at about 6. Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr. I like Zack Sabre Jr. He's one of the few, I guess I like more guys than I'm willing to admit, I guess. I don't know. I like Zack Sabre Jr. I love Orange Cassidy, so my excitement level for that matchup, I mean, any match, anything Orange Cassidy is involved in, I'm a big fan of. I understand some people they don't like that. I get it. I get that for sure too, but I love Orange Cassidy. My excitement level for that match is about a 7. I think Orange Cassidy definitely takes that one down. Bryan Danielson and I don't know how to say his name, Tagagi, I don't even know. Chingo, I don't know how they say his name. I don't know. Excitement level's at about a 2. Say Danielson wins. MJF, Hechicero. Excitement level is, I don't know, still MJF. I mean, I'm trying to love him. Absolutely no build. You had a chance to build that match a little bit in the opening segment of Dynamite. They didn't. They didn't do nothing with it. I think that shows how much they really care about this pay-per-view, because, I mean, they know that most of those New Japan guys are going to go away after Forbidden Door, so they don't really have that many storylines. It's kind of just like, all right, cool, let's put together some good matches, put on a good pay-per-view. I can get that. I can get that. But to me, it's all about the build, man. You got to build, and they did not. They have not. So my excitement level is at about a 2.5 for that match. MJF wins. Elite versus the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. I mean, the Acclaimed are getting a title match here soon. I think it's way too early to take it off the Elite. Maybe you give it to the Acclaimed and Tanahashi just because the Elite will eventually win this war. But I don't know. To me, you got to still try to get some sympathy on the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. I'm building the heat, man. I'm building the heat. I'm giving it to the Elite. I'm building the heat. Excitement level for that's at about a 4. Chris Jericho, Big Bill, I guess Jeff Cobb now. They're still doing that trios match against Shibata, Hook, and Joe. I don't know. Excitement level. Jeff Cobb's not bad. He's pretty damn decent. I don't hate the learning tree as much as some people do. Excitement level's at about a, I don't know, a 3. And then I think there's one more match. I don't know. Statlander involved in it. I don't remember. She'll win. She'll win. Sure. Why not? Excitement level 1. All right. That's it. That's it. I'm done. We'll see what happens. See if anything exciting happens. Like I said, a match of the night prediction definitely going to be old Swerve and Ospreay. I think Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa will be a decent match as well. As that ladder match. And prediction for wrestler of the night. I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe Mercedes Moné looks really good somehow. Has a really great match, looks really good coming out of this, and looks stronger than she's been booked so far somehow. No, just a wild card. See, my prediction is going to be Mercedes Moné. I appreciate you guys being on here. That's Forbidden Door preview. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Even if you don't, I don't care. Please subscribe. A lot of time, a lot of effort putting into these things, and I would greatly appreciate your support. Until next time, God bless. Yeah.